So lying down on your backs, and you can lie down however you feel comfortable. Maybe the soles of the feet are on the floor. Maybe your legs are outstretched. Maybe they're in butterfly. And just find these precious moments now to really connect your back body to the earth. So really feeling all points of your back connecting. Shoulder blades, buttocks, backs of the legs, the heels, the arms, the head. Closing the eyes and just coming into your space, letting your day go. And finding a steady breath, just breathing normally for the moment. We will focus on some pranayama in a little bit, but I want you to start to become centered in yourself. And as we work with the air element, this starts to look at the meridian lines of the heart and the lung. And the heart meridian line obviously starts in the center of the body, where the heart positions, goes up to the head, and then also shoots off down the left arm. That's your heart meridian. And the lung meridian also starts right down in the diaphragm, actually, in fact, and then comes up by the left lung and then down the shoulder and into the left arm. The breath and the mind are two sides of the same coin. Like a duo of swimming fish, where one goes, the other follows. The breath and the mind unite and enter into each other. And these winds of energy, the vayus, can be felt in two directions. Prana moves in and up and is expansive. Apana moves down and out through our body. To experience these flows or vayus, take a long, slow breath in, as if you're pulling the energy from the earth into your core and up into your brain. Feel the expansion arise. And as you breathe out, pay tribute to the power of the sky, drawing the energy down your spine to your tailbone and out. So just feel that once more. Breathe in as if you're pulling the energy from the earth into the brain. Feel expansion. And then as you breathe out, let that release down the spine to your tailbone and out through the feet. And then you can return back to a normal breath. And if we look at the state of the breath, we can come to know the state of the mind. When we change the breath, we change who we are and everything changes. On average, at 16 breaths per minute, we will take 23,000 cycles of breath per day. 23,000 cycles. And the ancient yogis believed that we are gifted with so many breaths per life. So why waste another breath? We come into this life on our inhale, and we leave this life on the exhale. Make every breath count. Yin is a practice of undoing, so you can let the breath fall away as you practice and become more relaxed. And in Yin, there are no particular breathing exercises you need to do and no style of breath that you need to use during the poses. A breathing technique, however, will bring more flavor to your theme. And our theme being the air element today obviously focuses on our breath and our pranayama. So let's become aware and let's experiment with our own breath. So bring the feet a little closer to the body, soles of the feet on the floor and the knees are bent. And start to feel comfortable there, like you're not holding the legs up in any way. If you need the knees to knock in towards one another, you can allow that, but just feel comfortable. And start with breathing naturally and observing your breath without changing the pattern. Notice how you feel on the physical, mental, and emotional levels. Do you feel any signs of tension? How deep is the breath? Where does the breath enter your body? How deep do you take the breath in? How long is the breath? Now lie here and relax. Relax the upper chest, the shoulders, and the muscles around the neck. Try to keep your belly soft as it rises and falls. Your breathing should be effortless and without struggle. Take note if you entirely finish the exhale before you take the next breath. And try to keep your breath soft. Imagine a candle flame in front of your nose, and you don't want to disturb the flame. Now take your attention to the 4 parts of the breath. The inhale, the pause between the inhale and the exhale itself, and the pause before you fill up again. Can you be present in each stage? Can you allow the inhale to arise on its own? Let the breath rise and fall from the inside of you. And continue becoming aware. Just a few more rounds or breath cycles. The 4 stages. Effortless without struggle. And release from that 4-stage breath. Just take a moment just to return back to breathing normally without focus. And just ask yourself, how do you feel in your mind and your body after that pranayama experiment? Gently wiggling the fingers, circle through the wrists, wiggle the toes. Just move the head from right to left. If you need to stretch, please do, or you just gently draw the knees in towards the chest and just start to roll out nice and slowly. So I want you to find a nice steady breath throughout practice today and really always just return to your breath. If you lose focus at any point, come back to observation and that experimentation little exercise we did. We're going to come into our first posture, which is supported fish. You can, of course, use the bolster if you prefer. I'm going to use the blocks. So one is going to support the back of your head, probably on its highest level. And then the other one goes down through the center of your spine. And really make sure that you are nice and comfortable as you pull yourself back onto that center block. You don't want those pointy bits to dig in anywhere. So we really want to open up the chest and let the rib cage mold itself around the prop, and then using either a blanket or another block if you're on a bolster to support the head and the neck. Let the shoulders relax. Arms come out to the side with the palms face up, and you can choose the legs straight or butterfly. We're going to stay here for a few minutes, so make sure that you are comfortable. So as we come into our first posture, this starts to passively open up the chest and the upper back and the shoulders by using gravity, using our props. Try and let yourself mold around your prop, letting gravity bear the weight down towards the earth. And observe your breathing here. It may be very different. It may have changed. There's no judgment or criticism needed for that breath. But just focus on the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause before you fill back up again. Feeling the breath expansive across the chest and the back. The lungs fully expand. And they fully deflate. If you chose butterfly, take the hands to the thighs to come out of the posture. Lift the legs nice and carefully and slowly, placing the soles of the feet back. Place the palms of the hands down by the hips and just bring the elbows a little bit back towards the shoulders so that you can push into the forearms as you just lift the head to look along the body. Keep that opening across the chest and shoulders as you lift away from the prop, and then gently press, lift yourself up, take the props away and roll down all the way into a shavasana to release the spine from the supported fish. When we think of the heart, we always think of the front body. So for this practice, think of the back body of the heart. Feel the heart resting into the mat. Maybe you can even feel or hear your own heart beating. Slowly draw the knees in, roll and massage out, lift the head up towards the knees, curl into a nice little tight ball. Take a deep breath out. And then gently roll over to one side and bring yourself up into tabletop. So reminding yourself of your back body, the back of the heart. So when we come to a cat and cow, think of the heart coming out in your cat, rounding the shoulders, molding the heart with the rib cage, and then releasing the belly, releasing the chest, and the heart melts into your cow. So find those breaths, exhaling, cat, inhaling cow. Close the eyes, reminding yourself of the pauses in between the breaths, making sure that you have fully exhaled before you take the next inhale. Expel all of the air. And last time, we draw the belly back, round the shoulders into cat. And then pull yourself back into a child's pose. You can widen the knees a little bit, but not all the way together and not as wide as your mat. And then we're going to rest the elbows down and we're going to bring the thumbs into Anjali Mudra at the nape of the neck. So you're going to widen the elbows a little bit. So you're going to melt the chest down, melt the belly between the thighs, rest the forehead on a block or onto the mat. And those thumbs are resting just at the back of the neck, and the other fingers are pointing down the spine towards the back body and the back of your heart. Even in child's pose, we just observe the breath, take note of the inhales and the exhales. It's most likely changed from all of the previous postures.
And throughout this practice, there's release of oxygen and blood, and there's also some compression into the heart space and the lungs as well. So child's pose, we tend to obviously feel that compression as we rest the chest and the lungs down onto the thighs. And when we're in supported fish, we're very much opening up the heart space. Try and relax the armpits downwards towards the knees, sending the elbows slightly forward, pulling the hips back towards the heels. Release the hands down in front of you, placing the palms down. And then lifting up. I'm going to take the left arm through and under for a nice little twisted child's pose here. So you're going to start to pull down the left arm. And it goes underneath you. So it's almost like a threading the needle, but it's a little bit of a twisted child's pose here. So you can bring the left ear to the mat. And you can keep that right arm straight out in front of you, or you might prefer just to take it and then the back of the hand just rests against the back left hip. I want you to feel here, this left arm that's underneath you. The two meridians that we spoke about, the lung and the heart meridian, go down the left arm. So they go all the way to the fingers from the center of the body. If you took the hand behind the back, release the hand forward so that you can gently press into that right palm, releasing the left arm out. Just take a moment to send that left arm out to the opposite side, palm face down, and just rest on the forehead for a moment, just dropping the chest down to the thighs. Breathe all the way to the fingertips. And then bring the left arm back, and right arm goes through and under. Trying to draw down the right side of that shoulder, turning onto the right cheek. And then choosing your options, either that left arm stays out in front of you, or you might just take it back behind you and the back of the hand rests against the right waist or the right hip. So the lung and the heart meridian don't go down through the right arm, but still feel that same sensation as gravity bears the child's pose down to that right arm, right shoulder, reaching the energy all the way to the fingertips, opening up the heart to the left side of your mat. Bringing the left arm back, palm goes down. And then you can lift up a little to bring the right arm. Slide it out to the right, palm face down. Relax the forehead down. And feel that breath going all the way to the fingertips of the right hand. Bring yourself back, come up into tabletop, and let that blood flow back into the legs. So sway out from side to side. Let's come into melting heart. Anahata asana. So fingertips go forward. You're keeping your hips nice and high. You can rest on the chin. You can rest on the forehead. Or you might wish to rest the head on a block. Really keeping the hips nice and high as you melt the chest between the shoulders. Melting the shoulder blades, melting the upper back. And just notice here in the legs and the feet, you might have a bit of tingling going on from coming out of those child's pose. It's about knowing, how your body feels when you come out of postures, listening to the responses. But when we were having those knees bent and we were down for so long in that position, as I say, this practice is about compression and then release, sending oxygen and blood to those areas again. Noticing those 4 parts, the 4 stages of your breath. The inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. Carefully lifting the head, looking forward, sliding forward onto the forearms, releasing the hips, come all the way into prone. Head comes onto the back of the hands. You can, of course, turn to the cheek if you feel that so much pressure has been on the forehead. Sway out the hips. Let go of everything. Let go of the belly, any muscle contraction or engagement. I'm going to come into bow tie pose, which means that both arms come underneath the body and the fingertips go out to the side. So if both arms is a little too much, you can work with one. So think about the right arm being on top of the left, first of all. Palms are face up, and then you're going to start to drop chest down. It's a bit hard for me to have the mic here as well, so I'm going to take that off. And then drop the body down as much as you can. If you need to support the head with a block, you can, of course, do that. I might do that. And the palms are face up here. And just make sure that you still have movement in the fingers. If you get tingling or pins and needles, just wiggle the fingers here. Drop the rest of the body down. Really allow the weight. And what we're trying to do here, if your right arm is in front, your left shoulder may be up a little bit. So try and pull your left shoulder down as much as your right. Notice the compression of the breath. Releasing to gravity. And slowly lift yourself up away from the mat. Pull the arms out. If you use the block, push that away. Bring yourself down, head or cheek onto the back of the hands. Sway out in the hips if you need. Take a moment. Before we go to the other side with the left arm in front, let's have a release through Sphinx. So arms come out in front of you onto the forearms. And here we allow that oxygen to come into the heart and the lungs much more freely than when we are in a compression posture. Reminding yourself of the vayus. Prana is that upward sensation to the heart, to the brain, expansion. And the apana is the downward force going down towards the earth, the tailbone, and the feet. Listening back on the 4 stages of your breath.
Visualizing the heart in the back of the body and the front here. Breathing front and back. And sides. Full expansion of the lungs and the rib cage. And slowly widen the elbows, roll down rib by rib, bringing the head back onto the hands, sway out through the hips, relax everything. Let's come to the left side for that bow tie pose. So the left arm is in front, threading through the right arm underneath you, and then again choosing to drop the head. Maybe the head meets the mat, maybe it meets a block. And this time you're starting to pull the left and the right shoulders down nice and equally as you drop through gravity. Breathing through the back body, filling the lungs. Feel the expansiveness of the air coming into each and every part of the body. If the fingers get a little numb or pins and needles, just give them a wiggle. And slowly lifting the head, lifting the chest, sliding the arms out from underneath you. Release the arms by the hips, palms face up, turning to the cheek. From here, we're going to turn onto our backs. So you can just simply roll over. Gently draw the knees in towards the chest and just roll out, coming into a spinal twist. So this is really nice and open for the heart, but it's obviously compression through the digestive organs. So the arms come out to the side, palms face up at shoulder height. You can use a block or a bolster to rest the knee on if you need. We're going to go over to the right first of all. So just choosing to bend both knees if you like, and then relaxing that top left one, supported or not, it's okay. I'd rather, excuse me, that you kept the chest and shoulders nice and open rather than focus on the legs and the lower body. So really work with the upper body opening up to the sky. If you want to, you can lift the head and turn the chin to look along the left arm. So reminding yourself of those meridian lines, lung and heart, they go all the way to the left fingers. Seeing if you can focus back on those 4 stages of the breath: the inhale, the retention, the exhale, and the pause before refilling. As you breathe in and return the head to center, if you chose that option, deep breath out, preparing to release from the twist and the rotation, bringing yourself back into center. Feel all of that blood and oxygen now go to the organs and into the legs and hips. Bringing the block or the bolster on the other side if you need to. Rolling onto the left hip, palms stay out to the sides, palms face up, bent or straight legs. And just resting that top leg nice and lightly on your prop. And as you start to come into the second side, maybe noticing any differences that you have to might move a little differently or compromise somewhere, something feels a little different, return back to the breath. Just let the body do what it needs to do without tension or struggle. If you wish, you can lift the head and turn the chin and the face to look along towards the right arm, the right finger. So really feeling that the chest and the upper back are really open. Return to the 4 stages of breath. Softening, relaxing, and letting go of the lower body. Breathing in, lifting the head back into center if you chose that option. Breathing out, preparing to move and release all of that blood and oxygen again back into the organs and the legs, bringing yourself back into center. And just bring the hands now and place the hands on the rib cage. So just underneath, you can feel the ribs. You can gently just feel the ribs and just give your rib cage a little massage. So you all down the sides and feel, where the diaphragm sits underneath the ribs. You can feel your lower ribs. You don't have to prod too deeply. Just want you to massage underneath the rib cage. And then take the hands to the outer edges and really spreading the fingers. I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Fill the palms with that breath. And then exhale. Feel the lungs deflate and the rib cage come back to center. Breathe in. Feel that breath inflate into the hands. And breathe out. Let everything release. Last time, breathe in. Fill the hands, front, back, and sides of the breath with that big deep breath in. You can feel the back body pressing into the mat and feel the front body opening, exhaling, letting go. Release the hands. We're going to roll back onto the belly. Coming up into seal pose. So finding a seal that works for you. We are going to stay there for 2 minutes, so don't come too high. You can be on the fingertips, but 2 minutes on the fingertips is quite a lot. So if you want to, you can push into the hands and then straighten the arms. Draw the eye of the elbow in towards one another and relax the shoulders away. So you're supporting yourself with straight arms, dropping the pelvis as much as you can here. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the neck. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Good. Steady and slow breath. Reminding ourselves of those 23,000 cycles of breath a day and up to 16 breaths a minute. It's usual to do about 12 in a yoga practice. We've just done 1 minute. Feel open through the front, back, and sides of your lungs, your heart space, and the energy, prana and apana working together. The facial expression and softening at the elbows. Slowly lower yourself down. You feel the belly, you feel the ribs, you feel the chest. Head comes to the back of the hands, big toes touch. Heels fall out to the sides, soften everything, letting go. Great work on that beautiful seal hold. And just pulling yourself back through tabletop. Sway the hips, maybe a round of cat and cow, breathing in for cow, exhaling for cat. Maybe pulling back through your child's pose
and then slowly rolling up through the spine, coming into kneeling. So all of that is nice and slow. Sit tall here now. You can be kneeling, legs out in front of you, whatever feels the most comfortable. Relax the shoulders. Feel the chest. Feel the sides of your rib cage. Feel the back body. Let's come into reverse prayer here. So we connect the hands to the back body. Many options for reverse prayer. You can come down to the base. Maybe you can get them up to the back of the heart, or maybe you just touch the fingers together and you can come into that reverse prayer, pushing the palms together. Close the eyes. Again, we're here for a couple of minutes, so take the posture that's the most comfortable, without pressure, without struggle, without force. And feel the heart breathe into the spine, and the spine breathe into the hands. Softening the face, the neck, the shoulders. To 16 breaths in each minute. Maybe you're just doing 10 or 12. And release the hands. Amazing. Slide the legs out in front of you. Seated forward fold. So this is where we kind of protect the heart almost in the front. We close everything in, but I really want you to, again, still feel this connection in the back body. So you can, of course, use blocks to support the head, or maybe you're using a bolster, or maybe you are just coming into that seated fold without any props at all. Relaxing the hands on the shins or by the side, letting the head release. And all you need to do here is gently pull the belly back just a little bit to the lower spine. We don't have to pull it back too hard. Just pull the belly back so it's nicely engaged a little bit. It's not hanging over the thighs. Letting the head release down. Each exhale breath. You feel a deeper sense of letting go. Breathing into the back body here. Create as much air as you can with your 4 stages of that breath. Seeing how many breath cycles you can take in this posture. Noticing the length of the breath, the depth or the shallowness. Slowly breathing in, rolling up through the spine. Breathe out as the shoulders come in line with the hips. Sit nice and tall. Bring the palms back to the hips. Just place the palms on the mat. Draw the elbows in. Sit nice and tall here and feel the openness of the front and the back body. And then bringing the soles of the feet together into butterfly. This is just a 1-minute butterfly press with a nice flat back. So imagine that you had a pole going all the way down the back of the neck and down to the tailbone. So there's no bending at all through the spine. You're nice and flat. So I'd rather that you over accentuate that flatness, pressing the heart forward to the feet. Pressing into the knees, keeping the chest nice and open. That is beautiful. Lift the chest just a little bit more. Good. So think of crown of the head reaching away, and this pole going all the way down through the center line. So like hitting each chakra as it goes all the way to the mat. See if you can widen the knees, widen the chest, widen the back. Full of expansiveness and air and breath and oxygen. And then bring yourself up to center, lift the knees, give yourself that big warm hug, belly, chest over thighs, round the shoulders, round the spine. Preparing to come down onto our backs. So if you're at the back of your mat, shuffle yourself forward. Take a nice, slow, controlled roll down with the breath. Feel the back of your heart connecting to the mat, through the upper and the middle back, and then the back of the head. Draw the knees in and just roll and massage out a little bit through the spine. Circle into the hips one way and the other. So one last posture, which we're going to hold for about 1 or 2 minutes on each side, which is our banana asana. So the legs go long, arms reach up, shuffle over to the right, take hold of the left wrist, and you shuffle the feet over to the right side as well. So again, this is expansiveness of your shoulders, your chest, your upper and middle back, bending at the elbow to try and get the backs of the hands down. And turning the head, if you like, towards the right armpit. Find that 4 stages of breath here. This is our last posture before we come into final relaxation. So start to prepare yourself mentally and physically to slow down. Reminding yourself of the heart and lung meridian, which we are trying to remove any stagnant energy or blockages and allow that chi to flow freely into the lungs and the heart. Bring the arms back into center as you shuffle the shoulders. Release the hands down by the side. Release the left foot. Take a moment's rest. Breathe in and out. Lift the arms up. Shuffle the shoulders to the left. Take hold of the right wrist. Drop the backs of the hands down as you bring the right foot towards or across the ankle of the left, turning the head to look towards the left armpit. And feel that curvature through the spine, through the body here, in that crescent shape. Still finding that 4 stages of breath. Bringing the head back into center, lifting up the arms, bringing the shoulders back, releasing the arms by the side of the body as you release the right foot. Take a moment's rest. Deep breath in, deep sigh out with open mouth. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out, and then find your Shavasana. You can use a bolster underneath the knees if you like. You can prop up the head and the neck. You can use an eye pillow, but just make sure that you really can spread out through the rib cage, the shoulders, so that you can feel the back part of your body, the heart really nestling into the mat, almost imprinting the spine, imprinting the heart space underneath you. Making sure that you're nice and warm. Making any final adjustments. And then finding complete stillness. And returning to that prana and the apana breath. So the prana breathes in upwards towards the face and the brain. And the apana draws downwards towards the tailbone and out through the legs and feet.
Beginning to deepen your breath to bring your awareness back into your surroundings, onto your mat, and bringing soft and gentle movement back into the body. Wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, moving ankles. Maybe moving the head from right to left, choosing to stretch or to draw the knees in towards the chest. Whatever feels good when you awaken from your relaxation. Bringing yourself up to a seated posture. We're going to do our Padma Mudra, our Lotus Mudra, lotus flower. So the heels of the hands come together, placing that at the heart center. Take the gaze deep, deep into that Padma Mudra. Find the focus of energy from the Ajna chakra, the area at the center of the forehead. Deep into the roots of this beautiful mudra, the lotus flower. And our entire practice today just worked with the air element, but also to find pranayama, our breath, through yin practice, slowing down the mind and the body, but also to allow that free flow of chi to the lung and the heart meridian, with a balance of compression and release. And checking in, just asking yourself how you feel now. And always giving yourself gratitude for your practice, gratitude for your breath, and to your heart. And I thank you. Namaste.